Hello you amazing people, welcome back to RXMemes. Today we're diving into another new subreddit for this channel, that is r/today I f***ed up. If you like today's video, I would love for you to subscribe and let's get right on into it. Today I f***ed up by trying to save pizza. Posted by user /Wade McGillis. This happened around an hour ago. I made Italian bread pizza, big boys, extra thick. I took them out of the oven and put the pan on top of the stove. Lifting the pizza off the pan, I budged the pan a little bit, causing it to become off balance and fall off the stove. I tried to catch it with my leg, but that meant shoving my leg against the pizza and pan to hold it against the oven door. I'm wearing shorts, so my leg got covered with melted cheese. I tried grabbing the pan to get the hot pizza off my leg, but I wasn't using any hand protection. I screamed because now my hands were burning along with my leg and I fully dropped the pan and pizza onto the floor. Then my fat stupid ass thought to save the cheese that didn't touch the floor nor leg, and I grabbed a fistful of hot melted cheese. Now my leg and fingers are burnt and half the pizza I made is outside on the ground. Edit. I did end up keeping and eating the glob of cheese I burnt my fingers with. Cheese, grease, and pepperoni. Yum. Today I f***ed up by not checking the expiration date. Posted by user /artichoke-me-daddy. Usually I take painkillers to help ease the pain a little, but on this occasion we were at my grandparents' house and I hadn't brought any with me. The only thing seemingly useful in the house was a very old looking bottle of spray-on deep heat. Now, I had never used deep heat prior to this incident, but thinking that it would help, my lovely boyfriend offered to rub it on for me. I never normally bother checking use-by dates on anything, and this was no exception. About 5 minutes in, my skin starts burning. Not like the gentle burn you usually get from stuff like this. I mean, my skin was on fire. It's as if someone had poured lava down my back. By this point, I had already been covered from the top of my neck to my lower back and down my arms in this stuff. A little excessive, yeah. And my skin was bright red. As my boyfriend had been rubbing it on me, his hands and arms looked like he had just spilled boiling water all over himself too, and we were freaking out. I mean, what are you meant to do in this situation? We looked like a chemical peel gone wrong. Freaking out, I was running up and down the hallway trying to create a breeze to cool the burning, and my boyfriend was basically screaming and fanning himself with a bit of paper. Eventually, our common sense kicked in, and we had to have a very long and very cold shower in my grandparents' ensuite to soothe the burns, but our skin was still so red and blotchy afterwards. Let this be a lesson to you. Never use out-of-date deep heat. Also, aloe vera works miracles. However, the burning did distract from the pain I was already in, so I guess you could say it worked. Today I f***ed up by getting way too high before work. Posted by user /PLU. Disclaimer, this happened yesterday. A little bit of backstory, I have never been the type of person attracted to drugs or alcohol. I like a level head, and being under any sort of influence makes me very anxious. However, in the past week or two, a coworker, G, introduced me to dab pens. Prior to this, I had never gotten high. I liked the feeling and the dabs helped me sleep a lot better, so I decided to get one of my own. Here's where I f***ed up. I kept the pen in my purse just for convenience. It's a pretty small purse and I keep a bunch of shit in it, so I struggle to close it and consequently probably break things unbeknownst to me. While at work yesterday, another coworker, C, asked to borrow my pen and, hey, I have no problems with that. I personally don't. Read. Shouldn't get high at work, but working in a busy restaurant, I see why many people need to. C comes back up and lets me know that my pen is broken. It was wobbling around the cartridge and oil had leaked out. This was near the end of the first half of my shift, so I clocked out, ordered some food, and went to my car to see if I could fix it. To work the pen, you have to press a button and inhale. Well, I went to do that. Big mistake number 1, and I didn't feel anything coming out, so I decided to take it apart. I noticed oil in a certain part, so I got a napkin and tried cleaning it out. I put it back together and tried taking another hit. Big mistake number 2. At this point, I wasn't feeling anything, so I thought it wasn't working still. I continued to mess around with it and tried taking another hit. Meanwhile, the most hits I've ever taken in a small time period was like maybe 2. At this point, I've taken 3 dud hits. I was feeling pretty alright after about 10 minutes, but I, for whatever reason, still did not think it was working. My dumb ass takes 2 more hits, maybe more, I honestly can't remember, and I thought I inhaled oil at that point. I began coughing until I thought I was dying. I almost threw up 3 times. And this was not a figurative, oh tee-hee, I'm high, I'm dying. Oh god, no. This was a, I'm going to call 911, I'm having a heart attack, and I have no one around me dying. I sat there for 10 minutes hyperventilating before I got my phone and texted my coworker, M, to come to my car and help me. Em got there and started laughing her ass off. My heart still felt like I was having a heart attack, and all I could manage is, I don't know what to do. She calmed me down, took a few hits of her own, lol, and advised me to walk back to the building and get my food. First and foremost, I didn't think walking could ever be such a task. I was so paranoid and I didn't feel like I was even standing. Then I had to climb stairs and that felt like a challenge. I get to the gift shop to pick up my food and I'm looking at my other coworker, Jay, and freaking the fuck out. She doesn't look real and everything around me didn't feel real. I told Jay I was tripping and she calmed me down and had me eat my food. Luckily, the second half of my shift was pretty easy, but I was still anxious as fuck. So I sit there for 10 minutes trying to calm myself down, but I eventually had to clock in and start doing work. The specific position I was in required me to have a headset, but I had no batteries. So I had Jay tell the manager that they needed to come find me if they needed me. Jay gave me something to down in a small quiet room, and it took everything in me to not stop functioning. I get what she needs and leave to go give them to her. The entire restaurant is packed full, and I'm dodging people left and right. The entire night was a struggle. I messed up ringing up a customer and had to call a manager. At the same time, I had to go chase down another customer to sign a receipt. Walking up and down the stairs was the worst thing I've ever experienced. My mind felt like it was going to give out, and meanwhile I was putting up a perfectly normal appearance. Thinking about that feeling now is just giving me terrible anxiety. The high didn't go away for 6 hours. The only thing I can compare it to is like I was watching a movie through my own eyes. Everything I did was not me and it was someone else. I have vowed to never get high at work again, and never that high in general. Okay. I have a similar story and I don't want any judgment. I live in Canada and marijuana is legal here. So summertime, I had never tried edibles before and I was working 2 full-time jobs. I would literally wake up to go to my office job at 4 o'clock in the morning to be there by 6, leave there at 2:30, and then go to my other job from 4:30 till midnight in retail. And I did that. Usually I'd have 1 day off. So like 1 day I would only work, or 2 days I would only work at one of the jobs, and then 1 day I would have completely off. One of the girls that I worked with at my retail job, her girlfriend made cookies with THC or whatever they do to make edibles. So this one summer day, it was like a Saturday or Sunday, and I had never eaten edibles before. I don't know how many times I can tell you this, but I bought 3 cookies. I ate one of them and I didn't feel anything. And like I had smoked before and it's pretty instant. Also, you guys, I don't like smoking, so I should have just like not done this because I don't like feeling high, but hindsight is 20/20. So I'm sitting by the pool waiting for this to like work, and I decide that it's not gonna work, so I eat another cookie. There was no instructions on these cookies, okay? All of a sudden I'm just like, I'm listening to music and I hear every single sound, and it feels like I've been out there for 5 hours, but it's like only 3 p.m. and I think I went out there at like 2:30. So I go inside, I'm like, okay, I need to calm down. Clearly this is working and I don't know what to do. So I went to my bedroom and like decided to lie down. So I was lying down and then I decided that I was dying. So I texted my mom that I'm so sorry, I love you, but I'm dying. So that. And she texted me back, somehow magically knew that I was like on something, and I told her I ate too much cookies. Anyways, I went to work the next day and told my friend what happened. She's like, you were only supposed to eat half and it takes like 2 hours to work. So ever since then, I've never gotten high before because that's terrifying and I never want that feeling again. I literally thought I was dying. So I really relate to this story. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you like this subreddit. It is new to this channel, so let me know in the comments what you think. Yesterday's question of the day was, what's your biggest pet peeve? And I had a lot of answers about mouth sounds, so I apologize if I ever make them. Ice chewing, which I am so guilty of. People being rude and stuff like that. My pet peeve, my biggest pet peeve, is when I'm hanging out with friends, and there are a few that are guilty of this, and they are always on their phone. Like, I'm trying to tell a story and they're just like not even paying, like I don't even know if they're paying attention to our conversation. Like, what's even the point of hanging out if you're just gonna be on your phone the whole time? So that's my biggest. I have a few others, and like when people don't thank you for letting them in traffic, like that just bothers me. Be polite, please. And yeah, I guess those are my 2 biggest ones. Today's question is, what's your favorite color? I will tell you my favorite in tomorrow's video, and I will see you then. Bye!